what we'll look at now is Revit's kind of rendering capabilities, which are for the most part pretty good indeed. Okay, so we'll go to our level 0 plan just now, and what we're going to do is set up a viewpoint. So I'm going to change this back to 1 to 100 so you can see things a bit clearer. So what I'm going to do is stand here and look at the staircase at ground floor. So on the view ribbon, 3D view, create a camera. Let's just save. Okay, I'm going to stand here and look towards the staircase. Okay, decide where I want to point and then click again. Okay, now if I zoom out using my middle mouse button, I can extend the amount that I can see from this particular viewpoint. Okay, I can just drag these out and see a bit more of the room. So that's quite controllable. Okay, there's a couple of problems with this view. We don't have the back area of the view, and we've got these floor markers, these room separators as well. So let's just get rid of these first. If I right click these, hide in view category, and then the disappearing back portion of the view is because the view has been clipped. If you can see a kind of a line going kind of perpendicular to the view of the camera. Okay, so there's a plane called the clipping plane that's coming into effect. So we would adjust that on the properties panel and deactivate the far clip. Okay, apply that. You can see the rest of the room. That looks better. Okay, the lens length in kind of has been determined for us. We didn't actually have anything we could choose there. I'm not sure if it's mentioned in the properties panel. Doesn't seem to be. So the way to adjust that, if we wanted less perspective or more perspective, this is a wee bit tricky. You use this device. Okay, use this wheel. Click it once. Now don't try and click again. Just right click over the word orbit. Okay, and we can increase or decrease the focal length. So using your left mouse button, if you click and hold, okay, we're standing in the same place but we're zooming in. Okay, if I drag it downwards, standing in the same place but we're changing to a wider lens, a shorter lens, so we can see more of the view. Okay, and the shorter the lens you go for, the more kind of distorted the perspective. So I don't want to go too far. I'm just going to stay pretty much where we were. Okay, let's see this window as well. Okay, so that's looking fairly good. We need to decide on where the angle of the sun. So have a look at your level 0 plan for this to determine where the sun is coming from. Okay, we can use this device down here. If you right click there, sorry, if you click there, we can turn the sun path on. Okay, let's just go with the settings that kind of go with the project. Okay, so the time of day here is the 10 AM on the 1st of June. Okay, if we want to change the date, we need to pull this line back. Okay, so see we're going to the 3rd of April. Okay, you can see the dates if I just kind of do that in that manner. So let's say we'll come to I'll try and get it to today's date. So that's fairly close. So today is about the 2nd of March. Okay, and at the moment it's 2 in the afternoon, so let's say 1400 on the 2nd of March. Okay, so that should be set for the 3D view as well. So that should bring the sun in through these windows and obliquely through these ones as well. But that's something that's a wee bit strange. These large curtain wall windows don't seem to behave themselves with proper kind of directional light. So actually I'm going to pull this around a little bit further to make sure there's a chance of sunlight getting in through those windows, so it's coming in at that angle. Okay, so it's targeting the middle of the cross there, so that's the angle of the sun. So maybe go back a bit, go to 3 o'clock. Okay, so that sun position should be the same for whichever view we're using. Okay, turning the shadows on is really just a graphical thing, doesn't really make any difference to the rendering side of things. The shadows are dealt with by the renderer instead. Okay, so if I switch the sun path off, I just want to make sure when it comes back on it's coming back with the same times. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, so I'll turn the sun path off because you don't want it to end up showing on your plans, on your layouts. Okay, now where is our camera gone? Okay, it's kind of disappeared. So what I'm going to do is go back to the 3D view and, oh, wrong one, I want to be on the new 3D view, 3D view 1. Okay, and I want to see the plan at the same time. So let's swap these around. Okay, so if you click on the edge of the 3D view, then your camera appears back on the floor plan. So if you do want to adjust it, you can. So we can move that around, get a slightly different view. Another way of revealing the camera is to right click 3D view 1 and show camera. Okay, so if we should have the same, oh, we've got a different sun setting here for the plan to the right, current settings. Okay, now that angle could be the same. It's very difficult to tell from this view. Yeah, it's hard to tell what the sun situation is. I'm assuming it's the same. So what I'm going to do is just change this on the plan and just see if these do adjust. So let's put the sun path back on here. Okay, and I'll bring this round. Okay, it didn't make any difference to that, did it? So it's not using the same. It's not using the same sun paths. That's awkward because you can't really see the sun path on this one. You can't tell what's happening. So let's look at the sun settings. Right, so it's basically kind of just decided it itself. So it's using these. Okay. So let's go for a still image. Right, that's better. So it's using today's date and time, and London's close enough for the sun here. That's better. So it's picked up the shadow settings there. Okay, and it looks as if we're going to get some light through those windows as well. So that's helpful. Okay, so let's see what happens when we hit render. Okay, so on the view ribbon, you've got render, and you've got very few settings that you need to consider. Okay, the initial quality, so let's go for medium because draft is very, very weak. Screen resolution is related to the size of this viewport. Okay, so if I try and zoom in, you see it's adjusting the pixels here. So this is a little bit tricky to kind of be consistent between views. So there's another one you can use, printer, and different resolutions will give us different pixel sizes, but these don't change when we zoom in. Okay, so this is probably a bit better one to use for consistency. Okay, so let's set it to the 150 dpi, so that's nearly 2000 pixels by 1000. That's a reasonable size. Okay, now we're indoors at the moment, so we want an interior, and we haven't got any artificial lighting here, so interior sun only. Okay, you can choose how cloudy the sky is outside if you wish. Okay, we haven't got any terrain or anything outside, which kind of works in our favour in a way. Let's switch the sun path off. Okay, we don't want to see that showing up in the rendering. Okay, so just hit render, and I'll let this one go kind of render live so you can see what happens, but the subsequent ones I will pause them so that it doesn't make the video last forever. Okay, so getting a lot of light coming in here. Okay, I don't need to sit and watch this fully now. I can see that we've got, you know, way too much light coming in. So I'm just going to stop that. Okay, now it could be the exposure here. Okay, so if I make this, take the exposure down, so that's much better, so much easier on the eye. It's a bit gloomy, okay, because the materials in the room are kind of generic, mostly the generic materials. So let's change the flooring, and we'll also add some furniture. We'll add a bit of life to this. Okay, so I'll close that, close the renderer. Okay, and if I go to the floor plan here, I'm going to switch the sun path off. Okay, I'm going to add some furniture now. So it's architecture, component, place a component. I want to load a family, and I'm going to go to my pen drive because I've got my stuff on there. Okay, I should have. Where are you? Okay, okay, and furniture, tables, and let's go for a conference table. Table conference with chairs. And open. And I'll put that close by in this corner. Okay, I'll rotate it because it's be a bit more in fitting with the room. Okay, so we should see that. There it is in the front here already. Okay, so instead of that, I'll just escape that. Let's place some individual desks. Architecture, component, place a component, load a family. To do that again. Okay, furniture again. Tables, I'm looking for a desk, it's sort of a modern looking desk. That will do. Desk with drawers, and open. Should be on my cursor now. Okay, so let's place one here, and I'll rotate it. Okay, I'm going to modify that one to flip it around. Okay, so mirror, draw axis. Okay, let's rotate the copy. Oh, no, sorry. I want to mirror it in the other direction as well. Oh, I could have done that just by clicking on it. Silly. Okay, that's fine. Put them a bit closer, there'll be a bit of wasted space otherwise. Okay, and then that group could be copied. Okay, try and place one in line. Okay, do another one over here. So, that's probably enough just now. Don't want to make it too crazy, or maybe put one down here as well. Okay, so plenty of furniture in the room now. Give it a bit of scale. Okay, and I said we were going to change the floor finish from this concrete to something else. So all the furniture comes in with its own material, so there's not much I need to do there. So I'm going to click on the floor. Now really I should copy this floor before I edit it, but I'm just going to go straight ahead and mess around with this one. So I'm going to edit the structure of the floor, and I want to change the finish of the topmost layer. So click on the words, click on this little 3-dot icon, and we get a materials editor. I'm looking for one called oak flooring. So click on appearance and you can choose the kind of finish to the wood. So this looks a wee bit kind of homogeneous. It doesn't look like it's got planks or anything like that. But the satin varnish is a bit shiny, so we'll say that it's unfinished. Apply, OK, OK, apply, OK. A lot of clicks there. So let's see what that looks like when we render it. So view, render, OK, all the settings are still the same there. And we'll kick it off. That's looking a lot warmer. Okay, notice the door appeared to be glass in the view, but now it's looking solid. Okay, because that's the kind of concept door. It doesn't actually render with glass. Okay, but we could adjust the materials in the rest of this. But what I want to do is just show you how you put some lighting in instead. So, you know, you wouldn't rely on just daylighting of an office nowadays. We do need kind of low voltage lighting for work. So we'll stop the render, close that, and we want to add some lighting, and this will be added on the level 0 ceiling plan. Okay, so the architecture component, here we go again, place components, load a family, find my components, which is in the lighting folder, architectural, internal, and I'm looking for a suspended light fitting. Can't see the wood for the trees here. Suspended linear 1. Okay, so the black features here, these are the modelled items, and the yellow is the light source coming out from that fitting. So the yellow stuff can be adjusted, as can the materials that the lights are made of. So open that, I should have a lamp stuck on the end of my cursor here. So I'm going to place these with, let's say there's three, yeah, they're every three ceiling tiles. I'll place one there, and then one there. Okay, I'll keep repeating those. Get a bit closer so I'll try and get the spacing the same.
Well, Richard, why are you here?
Okay, can I squeeze another one? No. Let's go this way instead. Let's have one on the grid line here. Try and get it centered. Okay, squeeze one in just before the, and then let's put some in here. It's surprising how many lights you do have in buildings. There's a lot more than you'd expect. So that you get an even light for working, you do need a lot of light fittings. Okay, so I should be able to copy some of these. Try and get a bit closer. Let me do it. Okay, so I'll just copy that bank. Okay, and I'll try and get them. Now, bizarrely, they don't. It loses the ceiling layout. It doesn't appear to be in line, but I think we'll just go there just now. We could adjust that slightly, but it looks fairly symmetrical. And let's place another one of these. What I can do is just copy some of these actually. Maybe not copy, because it doesn't let you place them carefully, does it? So component, place component, and I'll put these in carefully. Okay. Now these would happen on first floor as well, so if we copied them, we select one of these, right click it, and we want to select all instances in the project. Okay, if I copy those, okay, and paste those aligned to selected levels, and these are going to go to level 1. So they should join onto the ceiling plan of level 1. So have a look at that. Ceiling plan level 1. There they are. Okay, in the 3D view, they look a bit low. See the length of the rods here a bit low. So I'm going to click on one of these, edit the type, and make the light fixture height a bit higher. So let's say 2100. And watch what happens. It's the rod that shortens, it leaves the fixture in place. Okay, and it does that for all the lights. Okay, if you wanted to adjust the strength of the light, this is where you could do that as well. So you can change the intensity of the light, make them a bit brighter, or whatever. Okay, if you're placing wall lights, be careful, they're tricky to position. You might want to position the first one at ground level. Let's just show you this. Level 0, let's place a wall light. Go to family. Okay, let's go to the drive again. Okay, so it's lighting again. Architectural, internal, and wall lights are sometimes called sconces. It's a bit of a strange name. So let's just go for sconce 1 and open. Okay, and notice I can't see the fixture. It's letting me place it, but I can't see the fixture. So I'm going to place it here, so it should appear around about there. Okay, and none of the existing elements are visible in the floor plan because it's not the right height. Okay, but I can see it here. So what I'm going to do is move them down, set it to a different level. So instead of 1800 there, I'm going to set it to 500. And have a look at my floor plan now. Haha, I can see you now. Okay, so it's easier to kind of then place them and then move them all back up to the right level. So if I think with this you can't copy these. Oh, there we go, that's okay. Okay, place another one around the corner there, and place another one around this corner. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 on the walls. Make sure it's going to, it's trying to go to the centre of the wall there, not on, so maybe these dimensions that are causing a problem. See, it's, oh no, let's jump into the wall, that's okay. Okay, so I've added lots of lights there. So right click, just click one of them and edit type, and light source symbol size. Have we got height on that? No. So what we'll do is right click it, select all instances. Okay, and we'll change their elevation back to 1800. Okay. Right, so now when we render, these have all got lamps in them. We can render with the artificial light as well. So it's view, render, so it's interior, sun and artificial, and render. Let's let it get started. And what I'll do, once it starts, I will pause this. Okay, so we're a bit on the bright side, we've got a lot more light in here now. Okay, so I'll pause the Okay, resume the video now. That took about 1 3/4 minutes to render, so just under 2 minutes. The exposure's a bit excessive there, so let's knock it down a wee bit. A little bit too far. A smidgen more. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll save this image, but I'm not going to save it into the project. I'm going to export it to the desktop. So export, and I'll call this Office Day. Okay, save that. And I'm exporting them so that I can bring them back in onto my sheet, and I can control the size of the image. If you save to the project, it kind of binds the size a bit too tightly. Okay, now what we can do then is make a nighttime version of this as well, so it would be interior artificial only. Okay, and again I'll render this and pause the video just once it starts. Okay, so once it kicks in, I'll pause the video. Okay, so that's the rendering finished. That took 2 minutes and 15 seconds, so it was a little bit longer than the daylight one, but it seems, in my opinion, I think that the nighttime ones seem more successful. So we'll make this a little bit brighter. We'll adjust the exposure. Okay, there's a few kind of rendering glitches here, but you know, without having to learn lots and lots about the kind of terminology and methodology of rendering and setting up materials and things, this is going to be a lot more, you know, it's a lot more accessible for most people who don't have to go and learn all that stuff. So we'll export this one as well. So this will be Office Night. Okay, and I'm going to close the renderer. I'm only showing you interiors there because I really don't think the exterior views that Revit create are, you know, have a lot to say for themselves. The setting up the landscape outside is messy and clunky and doesn't really do your buildings much justice. So I would use it for interiors, but I really would probably not be too keen on using it for exteriors. I would definitely look at 3D Studio instead. Okay, we'll cover that in the next video, how you kind of go from one to the other. Okay, so I'll close the renderer and close these plans. A lot of windows open just now. I'll keep the sheet open. Close the others. I'll show what's under there. There we go. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take this section off this sheet and we'll put the two renders on instead. Okay, so we would insert an image. Insert this from the desktop. We've got Office Day. Not sure if you can take two at the same time. No, you can't. One at a time. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll just place them kind of side by side or on top of each other just now, and then scale them down at the same time. I want them to be kind of the same size. So we'll have the image Office Night. Okay. Now they don't want to kind of click onto each other. We've got width and height here that we can change, so we can do this numerically, so that's good. So at the moment that's 700 millimeters across. So that space there, if that's 700, that's probably about 200. So let's say we'll have a width of 150, and it's automatically changing the other dimension. So we'll go for 150. So that's good. We can control these numerically. Much easier to get the consistency then. Together, and there's a chance then that we could maybe get these a little bit bigger, so maybe say 175. Same with this, 175. Okay, I'm just going to nudge these with my cursor keys just to then I put a little title onto these, so they don't automatically get titles like these do. So you have to go to annotate, text. Now, choose your size of text. There's not many to choose from, but you can create your own sizes. So I'll say 7mm, and I'm going to put a title on this one. So office view. That's a bit big, isn't it? Office view D. Okay, and then another one here. You guessed it, office. Okay, as I say, if you want to change the text height, you basically click it as an object and make it a little bit smaller. So that looks a bit nicer, doesn't it? It's a little bit clumsy the way it's moving. It's kind of jumping to a grid. I'm sure if you get closer you get finer control. Yep, you do. Same as with all the other stuff. If you zoom in, you get a better control. So let's just nudge that up a bit, across a bit. Okay, so that's the way things render. I hope that's been useful. We'll look at the final kind of one of this little series will be rendering a scene in 3D Studio.